something different, right? Something different, right? This is like one of my favorite top perfume for bed. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Arlene, and on this channel lately we talk a whole lot about fragrances. And on today's video, I want to go over with you guys the bedtime perfumes. Somebody had asked, can you please make a video about perfumes that are really nice and comforting to wear before bed? I was so unsure about whether to do it or not because I actually can wear whatever I want, which is weird because some perfumes are a little too strong. But I have had in circulation, like cycling, certain perfumes that I tend to keep going back to. Like at night, I like to shower at night. I'm a night shower person. If I don't take a shower in the evening before bed, I cannot go to bed. I don't feel ready for bed. So these are perfumes that are very nice to wear fresh out of the shower, but they're also comforting enough to just hang around in and just eventually fall asleep in. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Remember, I started my perfume journey and I started with just a few perfumes. So I didn't have all the ones that I'm going to show you here right away. I'm going to show you the very first one that I started using for bed because it was one of the first few perfumes that I got that for me felt very comforting for bedtime. And not every perfume that I've used for bedtime is going to be here because I have here 8 perfumes. I have a few others that I probably have forgotten to include in this, but I really believe that you can wear whatever you want, whenever you want. You can wear anything you want for bedtime. You can wear anything you want for work. You know, of course, we need to consider if we're choking out other people and all that stuff. Sorry, I cut my hair the other day. It's a little short, and I feel like there's like some bangs that are kind of like getting in my way. But anyway, let's start with the first one. The very first one is Sweet Heaven Cherry by Gulf Orchid. So when I first started in my Middle Eastern perfume kind of obsession and I started ordering perfumes, this is one of the first few that I received. And I just remember feeling like this is such a comforting scent. Oh, by the way, little disclaimer, we're not gonna go over notes in today's video. I actually have a lot of things to get done. I just got home from work and like, I need to do a lot of things before bedtime, and I wake up early tomorrow and my computer is still charging, and yet the charger cable can't make its way to here. So even if I use an extension cord, it's just, I'm not gonna be able to go over notes with you guys today, but feel free to follow along on Fragrantica. So this is a cherry perfume. This smells very sweet, boozy, but powdery at the same time. It's got cherry without smelling medicinal or cough syrupy in any way. It's actually a very bright, slightly powdery, like if you know how there's cocoa powder or like strawberry Nesquik, if there was such a thing as like cherry powder, I would say this is very close to that. But at the same time, it's kind of boozy, which is weird to say because you're like, is it boozy? Is it powdery? It's a little bit of both. So it's very comforting, but at the same time, there's a richness there that just feels so like you're just like wrapping yourself with like some kind of like a sweet, luxurious vibe. Kind of like a nightcap, I guess you can say. And I really love this bottle. I love how, I know this is supposed to be like kind of not duping, but like, you know, kind of in the same realm as like Angel Share. And there's so many perfumes that are like this, that they look kind of like, you know, like a cocktail glass. But this is so relatively inexpensive and it smells so sweet, so nice and comforting. It's not too much because that booziness gives it kind of like this like freshness, which is weird to say. I just smell this and I remember the very beginning of my perfume adventures, and it just takes me to like, how long ago was this? Like 5 months ago. And I would wear this every single night for bed for like the longest until I started getting into other ones. So you can see that dent is denting, but this one's really nice. I like this one. The next one is actually another cherry, and this one's called Divine Cherry by Hamidi, it says down here, and it's called the Lost Paradise Collection. Now, when you go to Fragrantica and you look up the Lost Paradise Collection by Hamidi, there's a different type of cherry that's listed, but it's not this one. And they have a whole bunch of others. I just randomly found this scrolling along through Amazon, and remember I said this one was slightly powdery? This is even more powdery, but the longevity, like the projection, how strong it is kind of weak. So while this one's a little bit more boozy, this one's a little bit more on the powdery vibe. And it smells like a little bit of a deeper, richer cherry, whereas this smells a little bit more fresh and bright, but this smells really nice. It's also, the actual like composition of the perfume is very oily. I don't know, it's hard to show. But whenever I spray this leaves a lot of oil, so be careful with like bed sheets and stuff. I actually became so obsessed with this when I first got this. I thought that this smelled so good that I ordered 2 backup bottles of this. I ended up gifting one to my grandmother because I think the smell is just so sweet and fun, easy, delicious. Like this, like anybody can pull this off. It's so comforting and it was so inexpensive. And I feel like the bottle, I love that the cap is magnetic. I'm having flashbacks of my cherries perfume video. But like this one's good. So I used it for bedtime and nighttime because since it doesn't really last a whole long, it doesn't project a whole lot, that's easy for bedtime. You want something that when you put it on, if you're laying in bed and you're turning in the middle of the night, you don't want to be like, like, you know, choking on your perfume, which has happened to me before. Because your senses, everything just gets a lot more sensitive, right? Your whole body's defenses are down. You're in a deep state of relaxation. You know, your breathing is different. Your temperature drops. Things change, right? So you might smell nice when you first put it on and then you're sleeping at night and you're just like, I can't stand this anymore. It's happened to me before, not with this one, but other perfumes that I put on that I'm like, let me just take off this pajama. And I stopped spraying my bed for that reason, because there's times where you're like laying there and you're enjoying it, and then there's moments where you're like, I cannot smell this anymore. I just need to smell fresh air for like a minute, right? So the ones that I'm going over with you today kind of don't overpower me in the night, and that's why I'm going over these, even though I say I like to wear whatever the heck I want. So the next one, you wait till you see this dent. First time I talked about this perfume, I was like, I'm so unimpressed. I don't really like it. It just smells like baby powder. But my gosh, maybe it's because of my childhood memories. Baby powder, I associate it with comfort and fresh out of the shower. And this is Tahara Vanilla. The Musk Collection, Tahara Vanilla by Gulf Orchid. Look at the dent on this bottle. And no, I do not have a backup bottle of this. I don't know yet if I'm gonna buy a new one when this runs out. I might. Did I overspray the crap out of this? Yes. At first, I could hardly smell anything. I was disappointed, so I would overspray and wear it a lot and all over my pajamas and all over my bed because it's very light. But with all that spraying and use and shaking it up to get the oxygen in there, this perfume has started to get a little bit stronger, and I do smell some of the vanilla now, but it's by no means a gourmand style vanilla. It's very much a vanilla scented baby powder. And to me, that's just so simple, so easy, so comforting. There's no spices, there's nothing crazy in here. It just smells like fresh, clean, vanilla-ish baby powder. Perfect for bed. Like, this is easy. This is one of those that I could just spray it all over my bed, all over my pajama, and not ever feel like it was ever too much. So this is a good one. I might rebuy this. The next one has an equally large dent, and I don't know which of the two is gonna be the very first perfume that I'm gonna run out of. I'm gonna make a video one day when that happens, the first perfume that I completely just like, okay, empty bottle. Hasn't happened yet, but this is Le Fleur de Lanvin Sweet Jasmine. And look at this dent. Now, this one, I do have a backup bottle of it, and I'm glad I got it. And this is very cheap. This was also like $20 on Jomashop. This smells like a powdery jasmine sweet water. How do you smell powder and water at the same time? I don't know. It's aquatic and powdery for me. I feel like maybe jasmine tends to smell a little bit powdery to me. I know that most people may disagree with that because it's more like Iris has a more powdery vibe. I get that, but maybe that's the jasmine that I'm picking up, that powderiness that I'm getting. It's not powdery in the same way that this is. This is more baby powdery, but this is like jasmine powderiness with like sweet water, like just like sugar water. And it's just so simple. It's so delicious. I have the cherries there. This is like one of my favorite top perfume for bed. I went through a streak of putting this on after my shower virtually every single night, with the exception of this one, obviously, and this one was in the beginning, and then I started getting all other bunch of stuff. But I mean, look at the dent of this one too. A lot of these have huge dents because at night, these are the ones that I just kept going for. Even though I have a ton of other perfumes, I don't wear any other perfume more frequently than I would wear these. And this is just, it just smells, I smell it and I picture myself in my house, dark, nighttime, all the lights are down or off, the AC's nice and cool. I'm in my yummy, comfortable long sleeve pajamas and pants, cuddled up in my couch with my blanket, watching my TV and just ready to unwind for the evening, drinking my tea. And that's the association that I've already made with this. So I have a backup. When I open that backup and start spraying and using it, I may order my next backup. I don't know. We'll see. But this one, I don't know, guys. You tell me which one is going to be the first one to go. I don't know. I think it's going to be this one, but we'll see. And I didn't spray this one on. Let's spray this one on. This smells so good too. Oh, that one's really nice too. And sometimes you know what you can do? Spray them together. They're so good. The next one, I honestly never expected myself to want to wear it in the evening. But after so much of ritual and habit and routine of using, like, okay, I'm kind of like cherried out. I've been wearing so much cherry for bed. I'm sick of cherry. I don't want to smell any more cherry. I've worn baby powder. I've even grown a little sick of this one. I've gone through a time where I'm like, I kind of don't want to wear that. And I'm like, what am I craving? What am I craving? What am I craving? I'm craving something berry, something sweet, like berry sweet. But I don't want a gourmand. I don't want it to be super heavy. I want something that's like light and airy and fresh, but smells of berries. I don't want a Delina. I don't want something with rose. What do I wear? And I just randomly grab stuff sometimes and I spray it. And then it becomes a habit. And I start spraying it and spraying it and spraying it every night, night after night after night after night after night, until I'm like sick of it and I'm ready for the next thing. This is what I went to when I needed that berry touch. This is Mauboussin à la folie. Now, some people say this is supposed to be duping La Nuit Trésor. If that is the case, it's a bad dupe because they are nothing alike. This does have a very berry, raspberry-ish sort of note to it, and so does La Nuit Trésor, but La Nuit Trésor is a whole other animal. I have that one too. That one has like 40 notes. It's got incense. It's heavy too. This is like the lightest thing ever. I think this is like champagne, caramel, and raspberry, and that's it. So that champagne gives it like that fresh, for the right out of the shower sort of fresh vibe. And then it's sweet with that caramel and the raspberry, but it's more heavy on the raspberry than it is on the caramel, which makes it not lean to this decadent sort of sticky, too much foodie, indulgent sort of gourmand. It smells like a bubbly, fresh, and there's no citrus, but I think the champagne is what gives it that citrus sort of like tang to it. And I got so obsessed with this for a little while. It even has like a slight lipsticky vibe, I'm noticing. I would spray this all over my pajamas, spray this all over my sheets. I mean, just look at the dent. Look where I'm at. I mean, this is hard to tell with this bottle because it's a weird shaped bottle, but I would say that's about halfway. And I don't have a backup of this, but this is one that when it runs out, I will buy this again. I will buy this again because, and I have no interest in wearing it out. You could wear it out. I associate this with comfort so much. I love it. The next one, same thing. One of the first few perfumes that I ever got. And this is when you're craving vanilla. You want that vanilla vibe for bedtime, like lighting a nice vanilla candle, but you don't want it, again, to be too rich, too gourmand. This is so freaking good. This is from the Royal Cotton Collection, and it's called Cotton Abyed. And Mamakit Al Oud I've talked about this one on this channel before. My little cotton ball, this normally comes with a nice little fluffy cotton ball. It fell off. But this one is supposed to be similar to Maud by Ariana Grande. And I've never tried that one, but I also get a very similar vibe to The Kingdom by Lattafa, which is supposed to be similar as well to Kayali's Wedding Silk Santal. Now, I have The Kingdom and I have this, and I've talked about this in another video where those are all kind of similar. They are. But I would say The Kingdom is more similar to the Wedding Silk Santal, and this is probably more similar to Vanilla Maud. I've never tried Vanilla Maud, but I did try a sample of Wedding Silk Santal. Now, because The Kingdom to me has more of like a deep sort of Middle Eastern, deeper, dirty dry down, similar to how I talked about this in another video, my Aetheri bottle. In comparison to Gucci Flora Gorgeous Orchid, Aetheri just has a little bit of a deeper Middle Eastern kind of base note. This doesn't have that. This is just the airiness, the fluffiness, the vanilla, the lightness, and it never dries down to this like deeper, more dirty vibe that I get from The Kingdom, which I love The Kingdom. The other day I wore it to go work out. And I'm smelling myself and I'm like, oh my God, I love this. It smells so good. But it's got more of a depth that for me feels more suitable as a day wear, you know, to wear out of the house type of perfume. Whereas this is so gentle and soft. You can always, like I said, you can wear whatever you want, whenever you want. But for me, perfumes that are too gentle and soft that I know I'm not gonna smell myself, I'm gonna go nose blind perhaps, you know, I'm not gonna smell a scent bubble. I'm not gonna be leaving any kind of a trail anywhere. Like, I don't really care about trails and how other people perceive it, but for me, I like to smell the perfume on myself. I don't want to wear something so light that I kind of lose the ability to do that. Whereas for the bedtime routine, it's perfect because I can get very sick of myself if I keep smelling myself and it's too strong. This is not so weak that you can't smell it at all, but it's not so strong that it's going to become bothersome. This is really nice. I was not sure if I wanted to include these in this video today because I don't use them that often for bed, but I think they make nice after shower perfumes. They might be a little too strong for actual bedtime. This next one is an Okja dupe for Prada Paradox. It's called Basic Union. Now, I have a small 10 milliliter travel size of Prada Paradox, and this smells very, very similar. I want to say this is slightly more soapy and clean smelling, and Prada Paradox, while it is a soapy, clean smelling perfume, has a little bit more floral and fruitiness. This is just as good. And this, when I first got it, and till this day, I'm putting my nose on it, I smell soap. Like when you're washing your hands with like Irish, oh my God, it just came to me, Irish Spring. Or was it Irish Spring? There was another one. It's like a green bar of soap that I remember my mom buying. We would shower with it when we were kids. I think it was Irish Spring. So this is so, so, so clean that when you're fresh out of the shower, if you've had a hot, sticky, sweaty day, if you just had a hot, heavy workout, you know how you have your moods. You want something vanilla sweet, or you want something fruity, or you want something cherry, or you want something baby powdery. Sometimes you want something soapy, fresh, and clean. This is that. Now, this is gonna smell really good, and it might be overpowering, like I said earlier, that when you're sleeping, you might smell it a little too much. So, you know, it's up to you if you wanna use something like this or not. But like I said before, I go to bed in a pajama and I don't always wake up with one. So that's not a problem for me, but this is really nice, very fresh and clean. I don't even know if I'm gonna ever get the real Prada Paradox, maybe when this runs out. Right now, my dent for this one is right about here. And this is only a 1.7 50 ml. So when this runs out, maybe I'll get the real thing. I'm not entirely sure, but this is a really nice one. And then the very last one is one that I haven't worn a whole lot, because when I first bought this, it was kind of an experimental buy. I really just wanted to know, when people talk about bubblegummy tuberose, I'm watching so many videos and I'm like, what the heck do they mean? Since when does a flower smell like chewing gum? Like bubble yum? Like, what are you talking about? So I found a cheap perfume with the name Tuberose. And this is a monotheme. These are very inexpensive. There's a ton of them, but this one's labeled Tuberose. Now, I don't love this and I don't hate this, but it's a very particular scent. And I guess it's tuberose, right? This has more than just tuberose. If you look at the notes, there's a ton of other things in here, but I have Lattafa's Iman, which is a dupe for Armani My Way. I have another dupe for Armani My Way, which is by Mauboussin. It's called My Twist. And I'm now familiar with tuberose. I don't like tuberose as much as I like jasmine. Tuberose is one of those that I don't hate it, but in the doses, high concentration, I don't always love it. With that said, I have had days where I'm like, I don't know what I want to wear today. I don't want to wear the baby powder one. I don't want to wear Tahara vanilla. I don't want to wear, you know, the basic union. It's too soapy. I'm not in the mood for cherry. I don't want berries. I kind of don't want to wear anything. What do I want to wear? And then I look at this, I'm like, and I spray this one on. And I'm just like, there we go. It's just something different, right? Something different, right? It's just different. And it is kind of fresh. It is kind of clean. And the good news, I guess this is not always good news for everybody, is that it doesn't really last all that long. It doesn't really project all. It is, I take that back. I don't know if it projects because I usually wear this stuff when I'm home alone. But I do smell it as a strong perfume. This is strong. This is not going to be weak. But it doesn't go on and on and on and on and on. Like I have some perfumes that I'll smell my pajama the next day, or I'll smell my sheets. And I'm like, my little blanket, right? I'll spray it on the blanket, not my bed sheets. I have a separate blanket for the couch. And I'm like, my God, I still smell it. This one kind of just disappears after a while. But it does sort of like solve that problem of like, I don't know what I want to wear. This is suitable. It also makes a nice air freshener for the bathroom. So it's one of those that I don't love, I don't hate. I keep it in the bathroom. I know you shouldn't keep perfumes in the bathroom, but I don't know what part of my collection to put it with. It's not a Middle Eastern perfume. It's not a designer perfume. I don't know, is Monotheme a designer, I guess? I'm not sure. It's a cheapie, but it's not like, I don't know what to label this. I really don't. But it is a simple, easy, fresh out of the shower, you know, clean scent that is slightly sweet because at the end of the day, it's tuberose, right? And either you like tuberose or you don't like tuberose. And this was more for an experiment for me to understand what tuberose was really like. And that's what I have. Haven't made a huge dent on it. I don't know if I'll sell it one day. It's too cheap to sell. Like I've made a lot of purchases on a lot of sales and purchases, but sales is what I meant to say, on Mercari. And I've lost 2 perfume bottles through Mercari that I dropped them off at the appropriate place, and they were supposedly mailed out and they never got sent. And one of them, the person never even received the actual perfume. They received some other random object in the mail. And Mercari never reimbursed me for that money. So am I gonna be willing to just lose this because I don't love it? No, I kind of like it. Like I've grown kind of fond of it. It's just like a comfort thing, you know? And I'm okay with that. Now, am I gonna sit here and tell you run out and get it? No, I'm really not. I'm not gonna say run out and get it. Like, don't. But if you love tuberose, you might like this. So anyway, that's it for today's video. I really hope you guys liked it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Please like and subscribe and take care. Have a great week. Bye.